Hello. Sorry about that. We had no sound for a second there. We've had a few technical difficulties this morning. Not quite sure what's going on, but let me know in the comments. We should be back now. We should be okay, up and running. We were just here to talk about Ashley Young's potential transfer to Inter Milan. Which, does that sound as mental to you as it does to me? That sounds absolutely ridiculous to me. Yeah, the story came out last night basically after United's 3-1 defeat in the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg to Man City. I'm sure we all saw that. We all know about that. And just literally as we were doing our review on Stretford Paddock, the news was coming out that from Fabrizio Romano, first of all, obviously a very highly regarded journalist in Italy. He's saying that Inter started contact to Ashley Young, an ongoing negotiation with Manchester United for the English outside, which I guess means fullback in sort of a rough translation of Italian there. That was then sort of backed up by the BBC again. Simon Stone, another Tier 1 highly regarded journalist, this time obviously based in England. Manchester United captain Ashley Young has opened talks over a move to Inter Milan. What is going on? What is it? What are Inter doing? Just signing all of our sort of fringe players. I'm not quite sure the sort of transfer tactic here. It's understood no decision has been made yet, but whether United will allow Young to leave this month. The 34-year-old's future is expected to become clear in the next 24 hours, which is from now till tonight, basically. So at any time in the next 12 to 15 hours, we should be expecting some sort of confirmation either way on this. And we'll be covering that obviously live as it happens. But let me know what you think to this one, because this is surely quite a remarkable transfer. I think he's 34, 33, about to turn 34. He's been on a sort of a single-year rolling contract with United this season. And I mean, I know he's the club captain, but he's often been quite a maligned figure and not always the most popular, certainly on the pitch. I think off the pitch, maybe he gets a bit more credit. He's kind of respected a little bit more, but it's an interesting one. Solskjaer came out in response to this, talking about Ashley Young after the game. He was asked about this potential transfer, where he said, Man United, we can't weaken ourselves. We need to strengthen. If they don't, and then going on after that, Simon Stone says if they don't, particularly midfield, they'll drift further away. That's obviously his opinion. But Solskjaer again saying we can't weaken ourselves. We need to strengthen. So he doesn't deny that there is a link there. He doesn't deny that Inter are interested. Apparently, from all the stuff I've read and I've seen, Ashley Young's very happy to move to Inter Milan. It's not us trying to get rid of him. It's him trying to get rid of him. So I think it's all about us kind of saying, you know what, yeah, you can leave, which is, I mean, quite bizarre, really, isn't it? I don't, not really expected this kind of thing to happen, obviously, with him being club captain, with him being so old, and it's just a strange transfer for Conte, who relies on his players to be very high in fitness. It's a high work rate system that he employs there, so it's very strange and surprising that they would be interested maybe in Ashley Young. But again, let me know what you think. Yeah, hey Joe, can we lose any of our players when we squad? Well, that's Solskjaer's point, and I would have to agree with him that despite Young maybe being not his peak anymore, obviously I think everyone could have that. He's a versatile player. He's been at the club for a long time. He knows how to win Premier Leagues. He's one of the only players at the club who's done that. And I'm not saying that we should keep him for a long time, but it seems a strange position to be in, to already have a very thin squad and then be selling players, especially experienced ones. So I'm not, it's not necessarily as cut and dry as he's not that good, let's get rid of him. Because as we've seen this season, Lukaku was in that boat of he's not that good, let's get rid of him. And we could have done with the striker to score against Watford and Palace and Newcastle and whoever else. Again, I'm not saying we should have kept Lukaku, but it's not always just as easy as get rid of the players you don't like, it'll be fine. We have to replace these players. And from all the word talking about the transfers this January, we're not exactly guaranteed to be getting a player in response to anyone being sold. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens. Let us know in the comments again whether you think we should get rid of Ashley Young or you think we should keep him. Moving on then to our next story. It's another out, and it's another sort of fringe figure to Italy. Lingard this time. Again, we've seen him move agents recently to Mino Raiola, which has caused a bit of a storm, basically, as you would expect. He's basically an enemy of the state, isn't he, Mino Raiola? Like, Ferguson came out and talked badly about him, And as far as everyone else is concerned, that's it then. If Fergie don't like him, we don't like him. So then for a player that's kind of already on the fringes of people's favour to come out and sign with Raiola, I mean, you can understand it. Pogba's with Raiola. He's one of Lingard's big mates in the squad. He's obviously heard good things. Raiola does tend to get a lot of money for his clients. Whether he sort of over transfers people and kind of stilts or stunts people's progression and transitions into new clubs, you could say that maybe, but he definitely seems to get the most money for players of any of the agents going. So you can kind of see from a selfish perspective from Lingard why he might do that, but it just looks from a fan's perspective that, like, we all know you don't mess with Raiola. He's sort of like the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden, isn't he? Yeah, he looks good, but you just don't touch it. And we can't tell you why, but we don't like him. Don't touch it. And he obviously has done that. And then as soon as that's happened, that caused a sort of chain reaction of rumours of, well, if he's getting a new agent, he must be leaving. And if he must be leaving, where's he going? And then this Inter Milan story came up. This is Alessandro Jacobone, who apparently is tier 2 on Reddit. I haven't heard of him up until this story, so there is also it says tier 2 in the title, and then there's a correction to tier 3. So he's reliable, but he's not necessarily that very top end of reliability, but obviously reliable enough to be allowed to be posted on Reddit during a transfer season. So he obviously isn't just, it's not complete and utter rubbish, but he's saying that Lingard has been offered to AC Milan. Offered to AC Milan again sounds like it's United doing the offering, but maybe it's Raiola doing the offering rather than United trying to get rid of players. Again, going back to that quote from Solskjaer, we can't weaken ourselves, we need to strengthen. I know that was in response to a question about Young, but I'm sure that applies to pretty much every position across the pitch, that if we're selling someone, we need to get someone in. We can't just sell people. Let me know what you think to the idea of Jesse leaving. This Italian exodus that seems to be going on, the Italian job, whatever you want to call it, United getting rid of all of our players to Italy, seems to be continuing, seems to be carrying on. Any news on players coming in? Not at the moment. The news is we're trying to sign someone. I don't know who, but I know that we're trying to sign players. But if the right players aren't available, we won't sign anyone. That's as much as I know. That's the sort of the official word coming out of the club at the moment. Just throw the old out and write this season off. But you can't just write the season off. If we could sort of rage quit, just press Control Alt Delete, quit season, and just start in June or August. Sorry, I'm sure some of us would do that. But you still have to play out the rest of these weeks. And every time we lose, every time we have a bad result, the pressure on Ole mounts. You can't just get to the end of the season and hope that none of it happens. Each week is going to happen, and we have to make sure that that we get through it and that we don't just completely sacrifice the season. Stephen Housen says, "Are you doing a live show tonight, Joe?" Yes, I am doing a live show tonight, so be sure to tune in for that. I think it's going to be probably at 10 o'clock tonight, because I may have a special guest, but if we don't manage to get the guest sorted out, it may be at 11 again. We'll let you know very shortly. I know that's not much help, but it's going to be tonight, and we're going to put loads of tweets and loads of socials out about it, so you're not going to miss it. We'll make sure we let you know with a lot of time what time that will be. Oh, does Joe use Tresemme? No, he doesn't use Tresemme. I would understand if Jesse wanted to go away, find form, insert a buyback in case. He's 27, isn't he? How often do players go away and get a lot better at that age? I think we kind of know what Jesse's capable of. Obviously, we saw under Mourinho and under the early parts of Solskjaer's reign that Jesse is capable of putting in performances worthy of being in this team. Certainly where the team is at the moment, I think he can be at a club that's on that sort of 5th, 4th transition era, like, Europa League, Champions League, we're not sure, but I don't think he's going to go away and become, Maradona in Italy, but who knows. Transfer Seagull back tonight, it might be. I haven't heard from him, to be honest. He's off doing his own thing at the moment. He's trying to start a solo career, so I'll try and get him back. 4th is still viable. 4th is still viable. And do you think that selling these two players, Young and Lingard, is going to hinder our chances of getting 4th? Because we need players. I know they're not necessarily the best players in the squad, but you can't just have a season with no players. Well, just a couple more questions and then we'll call it a day. It seems the right players are the ones who don't want to come or are not available. Well, maybe there's something in that. Maybe players don't see United quite as the proposition it was a few years ago. But there's certainly plenty of players that can improve this team, and certainly players to set us back on the right track in terms of the quality of the squad that I'm sure are available. There's 15 or 20 players in the Premier League that would improve United immediately, and I'm sure at least one of them is available. But I obviously am not conducting these transfers. Give Young and Lingard to Inter. I think one would be going to Inter, one would be going to AC, but yeah, people seem that they're not too keen on keeping players. Why not sell Mata? He isn't useful. He's older than everyone else. He doesn't have the legs anymore. Lingard is a great person, and his confidence has dropped because of the abuse, and it's sad to see. Now, that's a good counterpoint, actually, because it's not just on the field things that affect on the field performances, is it? Sometimes the fact that someone's been getting a horrendous amount of partially fair, partially unfair stick for the last 12 to 18 months in Lingard surely would have played some effect on your performances. And of course, we've seen he's had off the field issues to deal with in his personal life as well. So is it maybe fair to give Lingard a bit more, I wouldn't say respect, but certainly a bit of time to kind of prove his form and prove that he can get back to where he was around a year or so ago? Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, that's going to be it for tonight. Like the video as we've seen in the comments there. And we're going to be back at either 10 or 11 again. I know it's vague, but we're going to let you know, so don't worry about it. We'll be back tonight for Late Night Live. Thank you very much for joining me. Leave a comment again if you think we should get rid of Young or Lingard or both. And we'll see you next time.